Welcome to session 2. We are seeing data communication and networking subject. In the last session, we have seen the first unit, first part, that introduction to data communication. First part we have completed. The first part, let us recollect the first part, what we have discussed for few minutes. The first thing we have studied, the characteristics of data communication. Accuracy, delivery, and timeliness are the three characteristics which are very important for the data communication. To transfer any data from one into the other, from sender to the receiver, accuracy is important, and delivery, timeliness are three major characteristics which are very important that we have seen. The next one is data representation. As we all seen, data is represented in numbers, text form, images form, audio and video. We have studied in the last session. And components of data communication system. There are 5 components which are very important that we have seen, means sender, receiver, message, transmission media, and the protocols. Protocols which governs the data communication. And last one, we have seen data flow. The data flow is also an important concept that we have seen. We are having 3 simple data flow, that is transmission media. Also we are going transmission modes, or on we can call it. Transmission modes are simplex form, duplex form, and half duplex form. We have seen. Now let us continue with the next topic, that is networking. Networks. Just for a 2-3 minutes, just recollect what is networks. What do you mean by networks? Question yourself, what is network? Where we are using this, why we are calling it as a network? I hope many of you have some ideas. So I will tell you actually what is a network. A network is nothing but 2 or more devices connected through a communication link. Means if I consider a device A and a device B, and these 2 devices, when I connecting with a communication link, 2 or more devices, actually in a network we have more than 2 devices which are connected through a communication link. We'll see the definition of that one here. A network is a set of devices connected by a communication link. Here the communication link is the transmission media which we are going to use here. This the transmission media may be of wired communication, or it may be of wireless communication. In all this data communication and networking part, we have 2 types of transmission modes, that are wireless mode and a wired mode. A link can be cable. Cable means that physically we can see the cable, so we call it as a wired communication, wired one. Air means, what do you mean by air here? Air is the wave is being propagated, we call, means it's a microwave. And a light, in the form of light also we are going to use, that is why we are calling it as a fiber optics, or any medium which can transport a signal carrying information. It may be of any media. We'll see a small figure. See, here we are having a number of devices. These are some examples of the electronic devices I am showing, and here I have connected some 6 computers to a link. Here this we can call it as a server. With the help of this server is connected to the system with the help of a communication link. For your understanding purpose, I have just shown this figure. This is nothing but a small form of network. Understood? Yeah, we'll go to the next point. Next slide. Here, networks. In this, we are going to discuss the topics which I am going to cover in this networks part are distribution processing, network criteria, physical structure, categories of networks. These four plays very important role in the network. First, let us see what is distributed process. See, distributed process. Here, the name itself is what it is selling. Distributed means a task is divided among multiple computers. A task, just listen it carefully. Here, we are taking one task. This task is divided to a multiple computers. There may be connected in any fashion, but what we are doing, this task, whatever the task we are having, that we are going to divide to the n number of computers. If we see a small circuit here, a small diagram, this is the master processor, and all these small computers are connected to a master processors, and this processor, the task of this processor is being divided among these small computers. Means when we are distributing the work, what happens? The work will be finished in time, and the stress for each computer will be compared to less. Means mainly the time consumption will be very less, and in time we can complete the process. So distributed processing. Here, if we see the definition, in which a task is divided among multiple computers instead of a single large machine being responsible for all the aspects of a process. Separate computers handle a subset. Here, the distribution process is nothing but a task is divided among a multiple computers. The next one, if we see, is nothing but network criteria. Network criteria plays a very important role, because in this criteria, if we are going to see, we see the performance, reliability of the network, the performance of the network, and a security. These are the three things: performance, reliability, and the security. While coming for this one, this data communication network criteria, we are having performance, reliability, and a security. Here, when I am saying about the performance means, normally, what is the meaning of performance in English? Yeah, you all can understand. I think you all know what is the meaning of a performance. Here, we'll see what is the performance of the network. Depends on a network element. What is the main functionality? Here is it helps. What it is doing, what it is the performance, what it is doing, it is going to help the functionality of the circuit. What is doing? It is going to help the functionality of the circuit depending upon the network elements. What are the network elements? Here, the network elements are nothing but the transmitter and the receiver. Always remember, for any communication to happen, we require two devices or more than two devices. Two devices are required, and or more than two devices we are going to consider. Means a communication to happen, a transmission to happen, we require two devices. Means a transmitter we required, and a receiver we required. means the transit time, the time taken, performance. When we are considering about the performance, we have to see about the transistor element and the receiver. What we should do first, the time taken for the transmitter, for the message or the data to travel from transmitter to the receiver or from one device to the other device. When the receiver, the response time, as soon as the message is being received by the receiver, how it is going to respond. These are very important, and these performance also depends upon these two network elements. Mainly more, these, not only these two, the network elements also include the hardware, the capacity of the hardware, the accuracy, the efficiency of the software used by the systems, and also the transmission medium, the cables, what the transmission medium which we are going to use. These are also play a very important role for the network elements, measured in terms of delay and throughput. First of all, what is throughput? The amount of work completed in a unit time we are going to call. What? The amount of work completed in a unit time. We often think that we require more throughput and less delay. Suppose if I want a more throughput, what I should do? I should transmit more data through a transmitter. So what I will do first, I will try to send more data to achieve my throughput. What will happen? As I am sending the data continuously, what will be happening? There will be a delay in a receiver side. Why delay? Because the congestion present in the network, means the traffic congestion. Because of this traffic in the networks, we get some delay. So it is very important to measure throughput and delay. Okay, the next one is reliability. As an accuracy is very important, the reliability is also very important. Failure rate of network components. Sometimes when we transmit any data, what happens? Because of some failures, the data won't be received by the receiver, but after some time it try to recover. Sometimes happen because of some traffic congestion. What will happen? The data gets failed again. As the transmitter won't receive the acknowledgement, again it try to send the message, original message. Then at least at what some time it will take, the receiver will collect the failure rate of the network components also is very important. Measured in terms of availability, and the robustness is also very important for the reliability. The last one in the network criteria is security. Data protection against corruption, loss of data due to errors and miscellaneous users. We should be careful that unauthorized person should not get the data. Means what we are going to raise, unauthorized accesses and development should not be there. Protecting data from the unauthorized person is very important. That is why maximum the data will be in an encrypted form, and that we are going to decode it at the receiver. With the help of, always remember, our data will be in zeros and ones. For making this security purpose, we have in one layer, in OSI model, in one layer we are going to make it a secured. Okay, the next one is physical structure. What do you mean by a physical structure? Here physical structure means We can see physical means we can see it physically. Yes or no? We can see it physically. Link is a common path. Here the physical structure we are calling it as a network link. It's nothing but the network link is a communication path that transfers data from one device to the another device. What it is doing? A network link. Communicating is a communication path. It is a path that transfers data from one device to the another device. Means what is happening here? We'll see the definition. Here, for communication to occur, two devices must be connected. Type of connections I am telling, but communication path that transfers data from one device to the another device is required. So for transmitting this data, I told you one communication link we'll be having. That are two types of connections we have: point to point single transmitter and a receiver will have, and a multi-point, point-to-point connection and a multi-point connection. Point to point means one receiver, one transmitter. Here, what is happening? Multi-point. You all, I hope you already studied what is multiplexing. What we are going to do in the multiplexing and demultiplexing part. Multiplexing, we are taking two different signals and we are going to send through a single channel, that is multiple points to the single point. And what we are doing in the demultiplexing, a single through the single channel, this channel, what is happening? We are going to retrieve the two different signals what we have been transmitted. In the same way, what I am going to do, multiplexing, from one computer I am going to connect to the different computers, okay, and the vice versa. We'll see. Here, this is a point-to-point link, means a station 1 is and a station B. This one is a transmitter and the receiver, where a single link we are having. Okay. Next, if I am coming for the multi-point, what I am doing, this is the main computer. Mainframe is also called as a computer. Mainframe. This, what we are doing, we are connecting to different systems, 1, 2 and 3. Means how many systems are connected to this? 3. Here in the figure we have connected 3, but n number of systems we can connect. Point to point connection. A point to point connection provides a dedicated link between two devices. The entire capacity of the link is reserved for transmission between these two devices. Here the capacity of the link is divided between 2, but here the capacity is divided among all these connections also. See, a multi-point connection is one in which more than 2 specific devices is shared in a single link. The capacity, here the capacity is shared among all these 4 computers. Here only 2 are sharing, and here what is happening? Here all the 4, means what are the how many systems are present on this link, all the systems will share the capacity. Physical structure, we have topologies. In the physical structure we are having topologies also. This topology, what do you mean by the topology? The term physical topology refers to the way in which a network is laid out physically. The network is laid out physically. Here the topologies, what we are going to see is we are going to connect some multiple computers. Okay, we are going to connect some multiple computers. I am going to connect. In what fashion I am going to connect? That fashion we are going to see in the form of topologies. Okay, this is very important for the connection. Here, connection of devices, type of transmission, unicast, multicast and broadcast. here the physically how we are going to connect, I already told you. And the type of transmission, uni means two, multi means it is multicast means multiple command, broadcasting already you know, from one place to the another place, like TV broadcasting we can take. Okay, next one, categories of these topologies. In these topologies we are going to see mesh, star, bus and ring form. These are the four important topologies that are used in the networks. With these topologies we are going to see the physical connections between the computers, how we are going to link. Okay, next slide, the mesh topology. First we are going to see here a fully connected mesh topology. 5 devices we are going to use in this mesh topology. See, I will show you the figure so that you will be understanding the mesh topology. Here what is there? Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many are connected? 5 systems are connected to each other. And here very important thing is, every system is having a direct link with the other system. Every system will have any link. See, if this station is this station and this station, if I see, these two are having a link. Yes, from this station it is having a link to this station, from this to this, from this to this. Means what is mesh topology? This all the systems are having connection to, as in a point to point link we can call. If we see this definition in a mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point to point link to every other device. I showed you. If I consider this, so okay, I will consider this one. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 I am having. 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4 links I am going to have. These 4 are connected to 4 different systems. How we'll know we have a small calculation here to know how many devices are connected. Here we are going to take n into n minus by 2, where n is the number of devices. Here the number of devices, number of links. Here n is the number of devices. 5 devices means 5 and 5 minus what, 1, 4 by 2 and 20, 10. Okay, some calculate. The term is dedicated. The term dedicated means that link carry traffic only between these two devices. And here the best example or the advantage of this star to mesh topology is, in mesh topology what is happening means data transferring, routing and flooding we can call. Here channels, here it is a little bit complicated to install because many wires we are going to use. Not a complicated, but it is a mesh. It's like a mesh. More number of wires we are using in this one. That's why the construction of the mesh topology is little bit hard we can call. But the advantage is, if I want to transmit a data from station A to station B, I can transmit. If any problem is there in this link, only these two link relation will be cut off. Remaining will be working. Means only this two links will be cut off, and this station have a links between this station and this station. Only if any problem is there in between these two stations, but this station can communicate with 1, 2 and the other 3 computers. Yes or no? So the mesh topology is having advantages and or also one disadvantage, that is the complexity, the wired, and when the cable is increased, one more disadvantage will come, that comes into the picture, that is cost also increases because of this cables, the wires which are present, the cabling cost also increases. Okay, next, the star topology. Here the star topology is nothing, is if we see this star topology, what you can understand with this star topology, see, there is a hub. Hub is having 4 ports, and each hub, each port is connected to different systems. Yes or no? Each port, where it is connected, each port is connected to different systems. Here what is happened, this hub is connected, one port is connected to this station, another port is connected to this station, another port is connected to this station, and another port is connected to this station. Here, if any of this station wants to send some information to this station, this can directly send the information. And here what is happening, if any of the cable is failed, means if this cable is failed, remaining 3 are still functioning and their link is okay, like we have seen in the mesh topology, na? The similar way, this like this only. But here what is happening means, if hub fails, hub is failed. Hub fails means what happens, if the main part of the system is failed, means we can't transmit any data from these stations. Yes or no? Yes. Means this is very difficult. Star topology is very easy to connect because we are using a hub. This type of topology, this type of connections generally we see in our laboratories, means with the help of the hub we are going to connect to our all the systems. Okay. In the star topology, each device has a dedicated part, that is point to point link. Only a central controller, usually called as hub, with the central controller. Here, as I told you, the disadvantage is if the hub is failed, means then we'll have any problem with the star topology. Next, a bus topology, connecting 3 stations. In this bus topology, what is connected? We are connecting 3 stations. We'll see the bus topology. Yeah, this is a very simple thing. Here, a bus topology is a multi-point. Why I am calling it as a bus multi-point means, here what is happening, see, here I am having a cable, this one end and the other end, and I'm having 3 stations, 3 computers I have taken, and I have connected each station to my cable end, and I'm calling it as a drop line. And here I am connecting, this is a connector to the cable and a station, and this is called as a tap. Okay, means nodes are connected to the bus cable by drop line and taps. Station, we are calling it as a node. From one node or a computer, from node 1 we are connecting to the cable. Okay, or we call it as a backbone. This is a backbone of the link. One long cable acts as a backbone to the link. All the devices in a network are connected with the help of nodes, with the help of drop lines and tap. Drop lines and the repeat, okay, connectors. Here in this bus topology, if from here I've just transmitted from one computer, I have transmitted a message to station 1, to this station 1. Then from this station, this can be shared to station 2 and also to the station 3, and here it gets end. Okay, means the systems which are connected to this drop line, means this cable can see that data. If I want to send a data from this station to this station also, it is possible. I can send, I will mention it is this message is to B, then A will go to B only, the C will reject the message. But here what is the disadvantage, means if any problem comes in this cable, in this backbone cable, then all the systems will be shut down. Shut down means we can't communicate, they can't communicate with each other. Okay, it's a very simple and easy topics, these three. And next one is a ring topology. These are in form of ring form, and here also this cable is connected, and repeaters or a connectors, repeaters are being arranged here. Okay, in this, in ring topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point connection with only the two devices on either sides of it. Means here, this device, what is happening in the bus is different and this is different. This station is having connection to one, and this station is having one connection to this and another side connection to this, one end to this station and another end to this station. Next, again what is happening, this station is having connection to this and this. A signal is passed along the ring in one direction, only one direction we are going to transmit the signal from device to device until it reaches its destination. Means if I want to transmit a data from this station to this station, from A to C I call, then what I will do, this like this path, and from here it should go like this. Each device in the ring incorporate a repeater. When a device receives the signal intends for another device, it regenerates the bit and passes them among. About this repeaters and regenerators we will be seeing in the next session, in the next coming sessions. But for now we just understand that if the message is, actually I was sending a message from this station to this station, so what happens, first the message will be received by this station, and what it will have, it will check whether the message is for me or not. If the message, after checking, it will think that this is not for me, so again this bits are regenerated and again sent to the destination. It may pass so many computers also. If there is a problem here, from this side it can send. Okay. Hybrid topology. Here what is hybrid topology? Hybrid topology is nothing but a combination of different topologies. It may be the combination of, here we have taken a star backbone with 3 bus networks I have taken. We can take mesh topology, mesh with star, mesh with bus topology. Here the topology we will see. In this hybrid topology, hub, we have already seen here the star topology. Hub is connected to what? This hub is having 3 ports. So one port is connected to one bus, second port is connected to one bus, third port is connected to the last bus. Means these are the bus, and if we consider till here, this might be what? Star topology, and the remaining will be bus topology. Here a star is connected with 3 bus networks. This one network, 2 network, and 3 networks. In a network, depending upon the place and depending upon the distance, depending upon the requirement, we are going to use different topologies for making a network connection. For this, Yeah, we'll see network topology video to understand the topics very clearly.
What are network topologies? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, a topology is the layout of how a network communicates with different devices. And there are a couple of different categories of topologies. There's wired and wireless. So we're first going to talk about the most common wired topologies. And the most common wired topology that's used is the star topology. Now, in a star topology, all computers are connected to a central wiring point, such as a hub or a switch. All data on a star network passes through this central point before continuing to its destination. Now, one of the major benefits of this topology is that if one computer failed or if there was a break in the cable, the other computers would not be affected because each computer has their own cable connection. However, a disadvantage of the star topology is that if the central hub or switch fails, then all the computers on that central point would be affected. And this is called a single point of failure. If this happens, the entire network goes down. Another type of topology is called ring. The ring topology is a type of network configuration where each computer is connected to each other in the shape of a closed loop or ring. So every computer on this ring has exactly two neighbors for communication purposes. Each data packet is sent around the ring until it reaches its final destination. Now, this kind of topology is very old and is rarely used today. Now, the advantage of a ring topology is that they are easy to install and easy to troubleshoot. However, the disadvantage would be that if just one of these computers goes down, or if there was a single break in the cable, then all data flow would be disrupted. And the next one is the bus topology. The bus topology is very old technology, and like the ring topology, it's not used today that much. This is the kind of network setup where each of the computers and network devices are connected to a single cable or backbone. And this backbone is a coaxial cable. The computers connect to this cable using special connectors called BNC, which are also known as T connectors. One of the advantages of the bus topology is that it is also fairly cheap and easy to implement. However, a disadvantage of the bus topology is that it requires that the cable be terminated at both ends using terminators. In order for this setup to remain operational, there must not be any open connections, including the ends that attach to the computers. So if a computer is removed or if the terminators are loose or missing, then the cable would be open and then data would bounce back. And this bounce is known as signal reflection. And if this happens, data flow would be disrupted. And there is also the mesh topology. Now, in a mesh topology, each computer on the network is connected to every other computer on the network. So by having so many connections, it handles failure very well. In this illustration, there are 4 computers with 3 connections on each computer, which makes a total of 12 connections for this network. Now, the advantage of a mesh topology is that it creates a high redundancy level, because if one or more connections fail, the computers would still be able to communicate with each other. However, because of the amount of cabling and network cards that have to be used, mesh topologies can be expensive, so they are rarely used on local area networks or LANs. They are mainly used on wide area networks like the internet. In fact, the internet is a good example of a mesh topology because the internet is made up of numerous routers all over the world that are connected to each other to route data to their intended destination. So even if a few routers go down, the data will get rerouted using a different path to ultimately reach their destination. So the internet is very redundant because it's using a mesh topology. So now we're going to talk about wireless topologies. So let's start with the infrastructure wireless topology. Now this topology uses a combination of wired and wireless devices. Now this is very similar to a star topology where you have wired devices such as these computers here physically connected to a switch.
So till now you have seen the topology video. I hope you all have understand it very clearly. The remaining video, it is having the wireless topologies that we are going to see in the later sessions. Thank you, and we'll be continuing the next topic in the next session.